Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
Hello there, very good evening and warm welcome to Newsline Live. My guest this evening is the politician Chandima Weerakkody, a one-time cabinet minister as well at that. And he's right here. Very good evening to you, Mr. Weerakkody.
Good evening, Faraz. Thanks for the invite.
Yes, thank you. What's your take on the political situation now?
Well, I think we are struggling to retain power or right that the white people gave us in 1931, which we maintain uninterrupted. That is our universal franchise. We are a country that has not had provincial elections for the past almost 5-6 years. Now we are seeing signals from the government and the adult state that we will not have local elections also. So we, as citizens of Socialist Democratic Republic of Sri Lanka, are now struggling financially, struggling without the right to education, struggling without the right to be employed, and on top of everything, we are beginning to struggle to retain our right to franchise.
Are you saying then that it's past due for a national government of whatever? Is it all parties should come in together? Is that what you're saying?
It's not possible practically. You know, you can see all what the government is doing is playing politics. They are doing everything to retain power, not to take the country forward.
So are you then saying that all the opposition must come together?
The opposition coming together will not be enough to form a government.
Then
because
what?
this government,
Then what?
elections is the only solution.
What
That
elections?
was, eventually we will have to go for general elections. But as of now, we have to, the government, according to the constitution and the acts of parliament, it is mandatory that we have local elections.
Okay.
Let the people vote and pave way for a parliamentary election. I mean, this is long overdue.
Okay.
When President Gotabaya Rajapaksa fled the country, and when President Ranil Wickremesinghe was appointed by 134 people, understanding was that there will be a general election within 6 months. That was what the people of this country asked for.
Who said that?
That was like the unanimous request and understanding of the people. But unfortunately, not only that we are not getting a general election, but we are not getting even the local election that is due. And as a result of that, we are expecting IMF facility. When President Wickremesinghe Rajapaksa took over, he very clearly said that the international community will come forward and they will help us immediately. But unfortunately, it doesn't happen to date. Leave aside international community coming to help us. The facility that we are longing to get from IMF we can see is getting delayed. Except for the now last December, before last December, the talk was that we are getting it. We thought we'll get it overnight, next week, following week, and then in December 31st. Till the 31st of December also the government said was, no, we are getting it. That's what the government media said. That's what the president and the cabinet of ministers and the government members said. But unfortunately, on the 31st of December, when we were not, it was confirmed that we are not getting it, they said, okay, in a couple of weeks we'll get it. As of now, we have now the next session is by the 31st of March. But between the 31st of December and to date, the only positive message that we have heard as far as IMF facility is concerned is the message that we have received from India. That is also a copy of a letter that the Indian government has written to IMF, which is copied to the media. To date, as far as I know, IMF has not informed the government of Sri Lanka that the Indian government has consented to whatever the requirements that the IMF wants in order to facilitate Sri Lanka. And Chinese government to date has not been able to give. And the Paris Club, we say like every day news, according to news, according to ministers, according to the president, they said like very soon the facility, the whatever approvals will be granted, will be obtained by the Paris Club, will be obtained and granted by China.
So
this is all what they hear.
These all borrow.
I mean, it has to be. Otherwise, I mean, every other day we hear these stories, but we are not seeing anything positive. It is so unfortunate. And today, the foreign minister has told Al Jazeera that the country will collapse if we don't get the facility by March. In order to get the facility, we have to get one Chinese confirmation and then Paris Club confirmation, which we still haven't got, and this is mid-February, almost mid-February. So, it is a very, I mean, sad situation.
Well, okay, but it is a well-known fact, and it is been carried on the media from time to time on a regular basis, and that is RW and his supporters always, almost, boast of his connections to the international connections. So what has come of these international connections?
Well, international connections, when you say, just because you can eloquently speak in English, just because you are an intelligent individual who can, who has substance in what you say, doesn't mean that you are capable of convincing any community or any organization. If you are not ready to practice what is expected by the international community and the organizations, firstly transparency, then rule of law, equality before law, and then the elections.
But above all of this, they, quite frankly, there is no economic recovery plan. There is no sustainable plan to increase the flow of dollars into Sri Lanka.
Yes, all that, I mean the plan.
So there's no plan. If there's no plan, how can the lenders give you money?
Plan, like to have a plan, first of all you have to establish what I earlier said, in order to convince such organization. With that the plan has to come. Plan, we have sat together for long hours, for many days, and prepared a plan, and we have given it as the opposition. We sat as various groups together and prepared a plan, and we have given it. We are ready to implement our plan if we are given the opportunity to do that. But unfortunately, neither we are given to implement what we have proposed, nor the government is trying to implement what we have given them. Unfortunately, as a country, now for now this is about the 9th month that we are defaulting loan installment.
Indeed.
For the 9th consecutive month, we have not been paying, and at the same time, we are telling the people, we have been telling, the government has been telling the people, oh look here now, no fuel queues, no gas queues, no fertilizer issues.
Thank you very much for your guest questions. Actually, 0772 300 305 card should come up on your screen. Please ask your guest that as a lawyer, if he did you not see that the Rajapaksas were not able to look after the poor people? How could you expect the poor people to know that? You were also responsible for passing the 2/3, etc., and should ask the forgiveness of the people.
Certainly, as elected members of the parliament, now as an elected member, I have served in 4 parliaments almost. But I can tell you personally, I have discharged my duty and the responsibility as expected by the people of the country and people who voted. Because I have not been involved in anything which is unlawful. Not only that I don't have a case, there has not been even a complaint against me. So I maintain that. And whatever responsibility that I have been assigned, I have discharged to the satisfaction of the people of this country. But unfortunately, when you work in a group, when you work in a party, there has been various agenda. As a result of that, only those parties are now into shambles. They are like into pieces. People have completely rejected such parties. But on my own, I must tell you, independently I have raised these concerns, and openly outside in the media I have raised and I have opposed whatever mistakes, wrong moves, and I have not only that I have opposed, I have come out with my solutions and proposals. But unfortunately, we have not been given opportunity due to the mafia that the parties have had. But now, that is why the people want a new face, a new team of people who can be trusted, who are competent, who have experience, who are ready to have, who have worked and who can be expected to take this country forward the way people expect. So we are in the process of forming that group or alliance of people to take the country forward.
Is there any information in your domain, in the world that you inhabit, that the delay in reaching agreement with the IMF is because the IMF wants certain negotiations done which may well result in the local debt also taking a haircut, and that can spell disaster for lots of reasons. Is that why there is a delay?
No, well, I personally don't know what the stage of the real negotiations are, to tell you frankly. But I know personally, now whatever that could be detrimental to the country could be avoided if we are in a position to act in a transparent way, that in a way that is acceptable to the international community. If we can, if they understand that we are genuine, we will be able to convince them to give us whatever facility which is for the benefit of our country.
By the same token, isn't it also so that your party and the opposition parties who have, as you say, you have a plan and you're ready, and if the government, if you've given it and if they're not doing anything about it, then isn't it up to you to give it high publicity all over the place?
No, we have already given, I think, Dr. Harsha De Silva presented it on our behalf, and we have given enough publicity. And in fact, when the tax law amendment was brought in, we had our alternative proposals, and we proposed it at the Public Finance Committee. But unfortunately, like according to the laws of the country, no private amendment can be brought in when a finance amendment to a finance bill act is presented to Parliament. But there was deaf hearing given to our proposals. I mean, we did a comparison of what the systems in other countries that are more or less similar to Sri Lanka is, what could be practical. Now, for instance, by imposing a pay tax to the groups that earn between 100,000 to 200,000, government can't earn even 900 million. In order to earn that amount of money, they are suppressing the future of the young professionals, and they are promoting young, intelligent, talented Sri Lankan to leave the country.
Isn't this all part of, Mr. Wickremesinghe is fond, if that's the right word, of saying that he has international connections. And now he's saying that the IMF, everything is down to the IMF. The high taxes are because of the IMF, and so on. And he then sort of gives the little carrot saying, but they also wanted me to tax the people who started off at 100,000, and, you know, so we refused, and so on. Okay, isn't this all part of a neoliberal agenda, and to hell with the people?
Well, this is all because of a government that doesn't have a people's mandate. That is not sensible, and that is not sensitive towards the feelings of the people. I mean, government is there, the politicians are elected to look at and think of the people, how they feel, and to get the experts to come out with the expert proposals and do the right thing. But here we are acting, I mean, of course, whatever that has not been done over a period of time is an issue. But it is, I mean, whatever amendment, drastic change that you do, try to bring in, should not be detrimental towards the people. It is like now now I saw today Honorable Ali Sabri. He was finding it very difficult to answer. He was trying his best to be diplomatic, but the fact that Sri Lankan people are starving is a known fact. As a member of parliament who is elected from a southern district, I know how people in my area, people who have voted for me, are suffering now.
Let's go for a short break and then find out after that break who, in the opinion of Mr. Chandima Weerakkody, Member of Parliament, who is most suitable to take Sri Lanka forward. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz.
Experience the best in healthcare at Darden's Hospital's new Alfred Place wing. We continue to evolve into a purpose-built hospital of the future, with an ambience built to deliver world-class care. Darden's Hospital, dedicated to you.
Newsfirst headlines. Main sponsor.
Darden's Hospital, dedicated to you.
2 earthquakes rock Turkey. Death toll crosses 1,600. More than 6,000 injuries reported. Rescue efforts hampered by heavy snowfall. His Grace Most Reverend Dr. Oswald Gomes laid to rest. Trade unions to launch joint protest on the 8th against unjust taxes. Police disrupt trade unions in Colombo. GMOA to move away from private treatments on the 8th. Mahasangha to protest in Colombo against the 13th Amendment on Wednesday. Samagi Jana Balawegaya to boycott President's policy statement on Wednesday. Court grants bail to social media activist Darshana Hadungoda, who was arrested at the BIA. Elections won't be postponed, says SLPP General Secretary.
Newsfirst headlines. Main sponsor.
Darden's Hospital, dedicated to you. Experience the best in healthcare at Darden's Hospital's new Alfred Place wing. We continue to evolve into a purpose-built hospital of the future, with an ambience built to deliver world-class care. Darden's Hospital, dedicated to you.
Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Shawkali.
And welcome back to Newsline Live. I'm in conversation with Mr. Chandima Weerakkody, who's of course a Member of Parliament. Mr. Chandima Weerakkody, who do you think can fix Sri Lanka to Sri Lanka's problems, and who do you think can lead Sri Lanka out of this terrible mess that we are in?
Well, as far as when you compare the available leaders and the groups in Sri Lanka. My personal
Yes, I'm only asking your personal view.
Yeah, my personal view is that it is definitely Sajith Premadas and his team who are competent for that purpose.
When did you reach this revelation?
Well, I've been, as an independent member of parliament, I've been comparing the proposals, ideology, the group of people, because one person cannot deliver. We have to understand, because the best example is Gotabaya Rajapaksa, whom entire nation
6.9 million votes, 2/3 majority in
Parliament thought
and
he
he ran
can
off.
fix the country.
Yeah.
But he miserably failed. He, as an individual, he failed, and he couldn't fathom the support of a group. He brought in, he couldn't, at least, okay, if he's not competent, he would have had the opportunity to select a competent group of people to be in his cabinet, to be in his team. But even there he failed. So, out of the options available, I believe this could be the team that could take the country forward and out of this mess.
And what chances of this coming to fruition?
Well,
What are the challenges? Tell us.
No,
that. What are the challenges?
the number one challenge is to get an election.
Right.
So, in so far as the country is
do you think
able
the
to,
message is quite clear to President Wickremesinghe that the people who backed him, the 134 members who backed him, that the instructions from them would be, don't have elections, let's trundle along till the end of the natural term of this parliament?
Well, naturally, I know none of them are in a position to face the people who voted them. They are not in a position to even move about freely. So, the only...
But they're costing us a colossal package.
They are, not only that, they also must think long term. The attempt to retain power for a short period might cost them in the long term. So the best is to let the people, to give an opportunity to the people to decide, so that the people will take their decision and leave these people to mind their business. But if you try to retain power forcibly, people will get together to face that force,
But
which will...
Mr. Weerakkody, it's a perverse, almost, waste of money and resources, the hard-earned money of the people who pay their taxes, who are now forced to pay up to 36% in taxes, to find out that, you have a property in Mirihana and you didn't deliver what the people voted you in for. You went off midstream, on some jaunt, and then you resign by email, we are told. And then you come back and you're given some state property because, the act says you can. Where's the shame in that? Why can't you just, buzz off and live in your house and have some security?
Well, not
it's a
only...
perverse spend. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, as I understand, not only a house, he's given 17 vehicles and 950,000 per month for his food. So, which is not acceptable.
950,000 rupees a month.
Rupees a month. That was what was in media. He never came and he never disputed that. And he's now moved in from one house to another. This individual.
But the people continue to vote for these types. They continue to vote for them. Don't you tell your constituents, don't you point it out and say, listen, chaps, these guys are ruining you.
I have been openly telling them, because that's mainly one of the key reasons why I can be with the people. I've always been truthful to the people. As a politician, I've always done what can be explained to the people, not to anyone else. what I've done all my life in politics can be justified in any forum. It is open to anyone to ask as to why what was done by me in my political career. So
that's what you say. Do you think that the enough has been, the information enough has been sent out there to the public that the people will finally realize that they shouldn't be electing such people?
Well, not today. Even during my own election campaign, I have been telling the people, I have been appealing to the people to look at the people who are coming who are before you. Look at them, go into them, find out who they are, what they have done, how well you can trust them, and then vote. Even in my case, that's what I've been telling them. Just because I come and tell you to vote for me, don't vote. Dig into my history, my background, what I've done and what I can do, what can be expected by. I mean, that has been the case in my case. But at the same time, there are various organizations that have been trying to educate Sri Lankan people. I think this is the right time for everyone to be told not to be misled, because we are in a country that is like all out to follow waves. You go by with the wave and then realize that you have gone on a wrong direction. This is not the first time. We have seen such waves. Now even in 2004 there was such wave, and then 2015 there was one, and again people can be blind in taking decisions. So I think it is up to the people to request or demand to question individuals who are contesting, parties who are contesting, party leaders who are coming forward about their policy.
Do you think the international community are being unfairly silent when they see that the PTA is being used rather liberally to arrest people who ostensibly break the law, but they're actually protesters? And the president told a foreign reporter, that the police in Sri Lanka are only arresting people who break the law. But unfortunately, that journalist didn't respond and say that you're doing that here mainly with the protesters by using the PTA.
Well, I mean, this is a story that everyone knows. Present president has, before he became the president, has been completely against action under PTA. He was spearheading a move to amend the act.
But it's now working for him.
Unfortunately, he himself used it to reprimand a student leader, two or three student leaders,
yes,
which will not be acceptable by the international community as well as Sri Lankan community, and which was completely rejected by the Sri Lankan judiciary. So this kind of conduct, I think the president and the secretary defense who acted arbitrarily should be held responsible for this type of conduct, because I mean the damage that it has done to the country, damage that it has done to our tourism industry. You know,
but the
any traveler
under the rules, the defense secretary can be charged, but not a serving president.
No, but once he ends his term.
Yes, that's the president.
Yeah.
But why not the defense secretary?
Yeah, they will have to be, because the damage that this conduct has done to the tourism industry. Look at it. I mean, even anyone who wants to travel to Sri Lanka will go online and check.
Yeah.
Sri Lanka will come out as a country where there was terrorism.
Indeed.
Sri Lanka, when you look at they will see protest, and then they will see protest leaders who are students are dealt under PTA.
Chandima Weerakkody, unfortunately we've run out of time,
Yes.
but I'm sure Sri Lanka will see what is happening very, very soon indeed. It's now time for the Primetime News. Take care, have a great evening as much as you can, and as always, God bless you all.